When you think of transportation in old school RuneScape, you're probably thinking one of three things, and I'll give you a second to think about it. Now, you probably thought of just regular walking and running, teleporting, and maybe fairy rings. Well, all of those are fantastic transportation methods, but there's another one. Another one that no one ever thinks of, no one ever uses any longer, barring maybe Ultimate Iron Man. We're talking about the hot air balloon system. This transportation method is locked behind the Enlightened Journey quest. Released in November 6th of 2006, this odd and frankly clunky, to say the least, method of transportation was released to old school RuneScape, or I guess then RS2. Now, to get around, you need certain levels in firemaking along with the subsequent logs. This takes you to a total of 6 different locations, one being, of course, Anana, the others being Taverley, the Crafting Guild, Varrock south of the Lumberyard, Castle Wars, and the Grand Tree. Overall, this is particularly not a very useful method of transportation. There's plenty more better options out there. But for us, it's game-changing. Roll the intro. Meet Gather Chunks. This is a chunk-locked account, and my starting chunk will be the Lumbridge Castle chunk. I am starting this journey on a fresh level 3 account. To unlock new chunks and explore new areas, I need to obtain items on the collection log. My goal is to unlock RuneScape one chunk at a time with an end goal of the trimmed achievement diary cape. Welcome to Logging Chunks. I have 3 main goals for this episode. That is, to get 43 prayer for overheads, unlock a new method of transportation, and to unlock the herb lore skill. Now, each can be tackled relatively easily, but together, it's going to be quite a monumental task to overcome, as this will require at least 10 chunks to unlock, and if we take a look at our bank, we are currently sitting at a 523k cash stack. That is nowhere near enough to get those 10 chunks, as it's going to cost at least 1.3 mil, as well as an additional 8 collection log items, because at the end of last episode we got this item, and this item, so we have these 2 in our back pocket ready to go. We can pay for the next 2 chunks as well immediately. And here we are at the chunk picker. Now, to gain access to herb lore, we need to complete the Druidic ritual quest, and we need to get to this area right here to do so. Now, as you can tell, it's relatively lengthy distance away from the closest chunk I have. That's a total of 4 chunks that I would have to unlock just to complete that quest. But I have a different idea. Now, in the last episode, we completed a bunch of quests, got ourselves up to 20 quest points for one big quest, and that is the Enlightened Journey quest, which takes place here and here. And I believe these are the only 2 chunks that we need to access that quest. So that will give us a new transportation method, as well as get us actually to this location right here, which is a hot air balloon. Now, it's a physical form of travel which we can use, and then that puts us only 1 singular chunk away from that, but at the cost of 3 chunks. So totaling 4 as well, but the hot air balloon system is a useful unlock. Takes us over here to the Tree Gnome Stronghold, as well as down here to Castle Wars, which Castle Wars is a different entity I don't want to tackle at this time, but this will be pretty big for the account one day. Now, as for the prayer training method, now in the last episode I unlocked the Wintertodt area with the minecart system, which dropped you off right here. But just 2 chunks away to the south and to the east is the Dark Altar. Now, again, thanks to the changes of the Corinne favor system, we no longer need any sort of Arceus favor to do this. We can access the spellbook at level 1 magic with no favor requirement. So we're going to be using Ensouled Heads to gain our prayer experience. Now, to do the Enlightened Journey quest, there is one skill requirement which we lack, and that is the 30 farming requirement. Now, I don't think this is a hard requirement, as you need to get willow branches during the quest, so the game assumes that you need to grow your own willow tree, which you don't. You can actually buy the willow branches on the GE, so I'm not sure exactly if we need that, but I do want to get that anyways, as farming will be a great source of money. Now, I was thinking about what chunk to unlock that gives us a good farming patch, and I landed on this chunk right here, the South Falador Farm Patch. Now, it gives us access to the entire patch here, as well as the quest start location, and it also gives us access to the Explorer's Ring teleport, which we don't have yet. And then I don't think we can get through to Falador here. Once we unlock the chunk, we can go check, but I'm like 90% sure we won't be able to walk through that. But this will be the current chunk we're gonna buy right now. So let's get out our 115k, as this is chunk unlock number 23, and this was slot 23, the Beekeeper's Top. So let's convert these to platinum tokens and add them to the tab. So now we have that chunk paid for, so let's go unlock it. And there we have it. We now have access to the South Falador Farm Patch area. So we grabbed ourselves some farming supplies, as well as a few seeds that we can immediately plant, as well as I want to make our own compost, which also gives pretty decent XP. So we can get up to level 15 and plant an oak tree at, well actually we should have 2 farm patches, yeah. So we have this farm patch for oak tree, and then this farm patch right there for oak trees. This level 30 requirement shouldn't take too long. And we did end up getting 3 new music tracks, bringing that total up to 83. Okay, let's run over here and check real quick to see if we can access Falador through this chunk. Oh goodness, I'm gonna try it. It's so close. I don't know if this is a walkable chunk right here, or a walkable tile right there. No, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I did get 3, I think I got 3 more music tracks there, but wait, can I walk this way? Wow, I can get in here. Oh, that's awesome. Well, I didn't leave my chunk at all, so I could access this chunk right here whenever I wanted, theoretically, but we're not currently here for this one. We just wanted to check, but it's pretty cool how we can actually get in here. So since we're unlocking chunks, I'm going to go ahead and unlock the Anana chunk. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, here, we're gonna go ahead and take the charter ship to Anana, which is a physical form of travel. So let's see what Anana has to offer us. So the Anana chunk is pretty interesting. It gives us access to at least a dozen quests, so that's super useful. As well as a, I believe, law altar, which is right over here in this area, just above the A in Anana. And we get a furnace, which we don't need. Fishing, we don't need. This, I know this is used for quests. Mainly, we need this area purely for quest purposes, as there's no other reason to come to Anana. And unfortunately, we will have to unlock this chunk here as well, right here, because the Enlightened Journey quest start is right there at the quest icon. This is the only quest you start on Anana, and it's unfortunate that it is like 10 tiles into that chunk. But for now, we're just going to go unlock this one here. So let's go do that. So here's our collection log piece for that chunk, as well as we're now up to 120k for this chunk. And there's the platinum tokens added to the pile. We're close to 2 million coins worth of platinum tokens. We are here at the Monk. Let's go ahead and pull up the map, head over to Anana, and let's unlock the chunk. And this will be chunk number 24. So there we have it. Now we should be able to take the boat no problem. And we now have access to Anana. Looks like we got 1 new music track, as well as an easy Falador achievement diary. And as you can see right there, this is this is where you start the Enlightened Journey quest. But we need one more collection log item before we access the start of the quest. So in the last episode, when we unlocked this chunk right here, right there, we got access to the Varrock sewers. Now I know we had access over here through the Edgeville dungeon, but I don't believe we have the agility requirement to take the shortcut to this one. But since we gain access to this, we can kill moss giants, which they also have a respective key drop of a mossy key drop. Same drop rate 1 out of 128. So let's hope we don't go 416 KC before we get that. 1 KC key. Nope. I completely fluffed it, but I totally forgot that I had a beginner clue in my bank, and I should have brought it with me to drop so I can get potential steps that I can complete. This one's in the Panic in the Alcarid mine, which we're not heading that way anytime soon, but I do want to keep it. But taking the clue with me now, we missed out on 2 clues, but we keep going. Oh, there it is. I missed the drop. But there is the mossy key. That is collection log item number 25 on the account. We are a quarter of the way to 100. I went ahead and left the beginner clue because, like I said, I don't think I'm going to the Alcarid area anytime soon. So I believe we only got 2 attack levels and a hit points level. Not too bad, as it only took 63 kills. Alright, let's put this in the bank, and there is 25 collection log items in the tab. Now, we do have enough to pay for another chunk, which we do have access to the other side of Anana, but we're going to go check on our crops. And currently we're at 4 farming. So now I need to start making some more money, and I'm going to go with my crafting method of making jade necklaces. Where are they? Jade necklaces, turning those into necklaces of passage. Once I get my magic to level 49, I'm going to switch to red topaz bracelets. Now, I already have the crafting level for that to make those, but what I don't have the magic level to do is the level 3 enchant, which the red topaz bracelet requires that to turn it into a bracelet of slaughter, which I think that'll be the best GP per hour. So I need a total of 951 jade necklaces. So let's see if we can just buy this all at one fell swoop. Okay, absolutely not. No, we'll do this in increments then. Alright, we just made ourselves 400 necklaces of passage. Input, I think, was about 230,000 coins. And it looks like we'll get back a decent amount. So let's sell them 4 GP less than what they're going for. Alrighty, and there is all of them sold for a total of 422. So we made just about 200k from that for about 45 minutes of work. And there is level 15 farming. Took a short break to do some farming because I really wanted to get 15 while I'm working on making money so my oak trees can grow. So we now have access to planting trees. We can plant one here at the lumberage area, and then we can plant one right up here at this area. Now total I believe they yield 468.5, I think, if my memory serves correct, XP per tree. So we'll be still farming here at this patch, but we're up to Marintills, we're planting tomatoes, we're harvesting for sure. We're a true farmer. Alright, so here's patch 1. We're gonna finish raking. I've actually been doing a bit of raking content to get some extra experience. And I did actually look it up. These yield a total of 467.3 experience each. And they only take 2 hours and 40 minutes to grow. And here we are at patch number 2, so let's plant this one and pay for it. Now we will check on these in about 3 hours. And there is our goal level of 49 magic. Now we can enchant ruby jewelry, which is big, and red topaz jewelry as well, which is what we're going to be doing. Now we got 2 more to do, so let's just go ahead and finish these last 2 and then go sell and see what we made. Alright, so looking at the history, we bought all these for about 305,000 coins. And then we're going to sell them. Oh man, I know we're not going to get that much. I think they were selling for about this much yesterday. So let's see. Okay. Alright, well those are selling at a pretty decent rate. Selling like 10 per minute, so I'll just leave those in there for now. And my next thing I want to do is actually go for 55 magic while making money via crafting. We got up to 50 crafting, and there is a couple more jewelry things I want to try out. As I said prior, I want to try out these red topaz bracelets, turning those into bracelets of slaughter. And I also want to try out the red topaz amulets. Now the burning amulet is what you make out of this, and it's actually selling right now for close to 3,000 coins. And right now the topaz plus silver bar plus cosmic rune is about 1,900. So that could be over 1,000 GP profit per necklace. So I'm going to try this one first, see how much money it makes in 1 hour. And then I'll try this one and see how much that one makes in 1 hour. And while I'm doing that, I'll be getting Mage XP, which will get us up to 55 for High Alchemy. Now, we don't really need High Alchemy for anything in particular. 55 is just kind of an iconic level for magic, and we'll have High Alchemy, which does give us some options to make money, such as the adamant plate body, which I used to turn a profit when you alched it, because I think it alks for 9,800. Alright, these are not selling very quickly at all any longer for 1065, so I'm going to go ahead and take out the money, take them out, and drop it down to about 1055. I think these would sell a lot quicker. Okay, yeah, they insta-sold, bringing us up to, well, let's check the GE history. So that was 532 plus 48. So that is right at like 580. So about 580,000 coins. And we said about 305,000 coins went into that. So yeah, another solid 275k. So we're going to go ahead and make ourselves 600 of the topaz amulets, turn those into burning amulets. Now I only have 350 topaz because they are very expensive and I can only afford that many at a time as I'm at 19k cash stack. So let's go make 600 of these and see how much we make in total. Now one thing I forgot about as I am making these is that we actually need to add a ball of wool to these before we can enchant them. So we'll go ahead and do that since we're already committed to this. Right now each ball of wool is going for about 60 GP each, so that'll add a little time to this as it takes time to string them all, but the profit will definitely be worth it. Oh wow, these are actually a little more than 60 GP each. Let's see how much they're going for. So max price 72, and the split would be, so 3 GP, so I'll try to buy them for 70 coins each, I guess. I can't afford many at all, because this is all we got to work with here. I'll just chuck it in all for as much as I possibly can. We'll do 260 for now, and I guess we'll just, we'll wait. Yeah, making these into amulets from the ball of wool and the amulet unstrung is pretty quick. This shouldn't take more than 10 minutes overall to make all 600 of those. Pretty easy, pretty nice method. And there's 200 strung, so let's go ahead and enchant these. Only took about 3 or 4 minutes to do these. Not bad at all. And there is our 200 burning amulets enchanted. Only took about 10 minutes to do all these 200. So with adding the wool plus enchanting, should only add about 45 minutes to this. And then crafting them takes about another 45 minutes. So in total, to make these 600 will take us about an hour and a half. Okay, one is selling for 312. So we'll put them in for 3 and see if they insta sell. Just about all insta sold. Now this is insane profit. While it takes a little longer, a little more tedious, we are making so much more money from this method. 600k cash stack. So let's go ahead and buy another 150 balls of wool and then enchant 150 more. So moment of truth. 400 burning amulets. 1.188 mil. Now that is a lot of cash that I have not seen in quite a long time on this account. We are at a 1.3 million cash stack. Very, very good to have. So in total, well, let's do the math. Alright, so the numbers are in, and the total output of all 600 was 1,600,000 784,000 coins. Brings our total profit to 610,000 coins, meaning since it took us an hour and a half, we made about 405,000 coins in 1 hour. So 405k per hour for a moneymaker on this account is pretty good at the current status we're at with, I believe, 25 chunk unlocks so far. So now we have our 670 silver bars in topaz and cosmic runes. Let's go ahead and make some bracelets of slaughter and see how they compare. So there is 55 crafting, nothing too notable, but we can now make the Slayer Helm. Now that is going to be a long ways away, but we have the level requirement to make a Slayer Helm, so I'm looking forward to making that one day. And here is the last topaz bracelet for 55 magic. We can now cast High Alchemy. Alright, so we are at the GE with our 670 bracelets of slaughter. So they are currently going for 2264. Let's actually see how much one's going for. 2650, pretty good price, which is more than this. 2650. Let's see if we can get this much for it. Insta sold 1.7 mil. We have an additional 96k here. We are up to a 1.855 mil cash stack. This is by far the most, by almost double of what I ever had on this account. So we made roughly 500k from that, and this took just over an hour. It took about an hour and 10 minutes. So that's at least 470 to 480k per hour. So now that we have all of this money just burning an absolute hit in our bank, we need to go spend it. But first, we do need to do a farming run, so let's go do that. There is the handsome fella. So let's check health, and this should be 467. Can't see the 0.3, but that is 17 farming. Looks like we get nothing out of that. But mainly, the XP is all we care about. Let's go check the next one after we demolish this tree. Now I do want to quickly mention that all of my crafting, enchanting methods have been with me manually casting the enchant on the item. So if you do a auto cast, it's going to be significantly slower, as the auto cast is, I believe, 7 tick, and the manual cast is 3 tick. So that does affect GP per hour by quite a lot. And check this health, it should be a 19 farming. Just barely snuck that in there. We can now do Terramins, so let's, I guess, take these back and get some Terramins, so we can start farming up some higher XP stuff. And I didn't mention it, but we did end up getting up to 57 crafting from all that. For now, since our trees are still growing and we're only level 20 farming, we still have a bit of a ways to go. My guess is at least 2 to 3 more days of in real life time. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and start the process of unlocking ensouled heads via right over here. So let's work on another collection log item, because we have one here. This can be the mossy key that we obtained earlier. So we just need one more collection log slot for this chunk right there. We are going to be heading to the Wintertodt, stacking up 10 chests at a time until we get one more collection log item. And if you're curious, our Wintertodt is looking like this. We have the burnt pages and the pyromancer's garb. I'll actually just go ahead and open them one at a time as I get them. So nothing here. There's 3 piles of bones here. Wintertodt taking out some hardcores. Hey, missed it, but didn't miss it. There is the warm gloves. That took precisely 19 chests to get. We are just shy of 69 fire making. Might as well stay for one more game. See if we can get a back-to-back. Alright, so we got our 69 fire making. Do we get a back-to-back? Oh well, there is 40 KC at Wintertodt now. And we now have 3 items from the Wintertodt, bringing our total up to 26 collection log items. Yeah, so we will be currently unlocking chunk number 25 and 26 in the order. Or this will be a total of 125 for chunk 25 and 130 for chunk 26. But there is the platinum tokens, and I believe that is now going to be Over 2 million coins and platinum tokens on the account. Let's go unlock these new chunks. What in the world? Why is that so big when it's on the ground? How do you fit 4 of those in your backpack? The scaling to that thing is just completely off. I know I haven't been recording many randoms, but this is the 3rd sandwich lady in a row for me. I wish it would have been the mime or something else. I need some redemption. And this is the 3rd pie in a row. Okay, and I think we're here at the chunk border. It's a little hard to tell, but this is definitely it right here. So let's see what these chunks have to offer. Alright, so most notably, the only thing in this chunk is the 1 fairy ring, which I believe they have now taken away the 80k payment requirement for it, which is a good change. And I think there is maybe a clue location or 2 in this 1 chunk, but that's it. Literally pretty much useless chunk. But it's a means to teleport here with a fairy ring, which is kind of useful. But this one, a great unlock, the Dark Altar. And again, thanks to the changes that Jagex has made to the Karen favor system, you no longer need any sort of Arceus favor, so we don't need to access the library to get any books. We don't need, I think it was like 60 or maybe even 100% favor to get access to the Arceus spellbook. All that's been scrapped. The spellbook has even been reworked. It's in a super good spot in my opinion, but a fantastic change nonetheless. We're going to go ahead and unlock these chunks back to back. Stepping foot into our new chunk. 1 new music track, not a moment of relief. Okay, there's a few bats here actually, but yeah, that's literally all this chunk has to offer. So let's just immediately run right over here past a few bats and get this chunk as well. And there we have chunk 25 and 26 now unlocked. So we can run up here and we should be able to immediately access the Arceus spellbook. And yeah, not a single hiccup there. Get some decent teleports from this that I'm sure we can't use any of them at the moment. I don't know where this takes you, but I assume right up here. Other than that, I don't think we can use anything else. Well, we can use Trader Manor, but we're not going to use this spellbook right now for any kind of utility other than the ensouled heads, which I think we can only do Adept reanimation. I also got a medium task in the Karen and Kebos area, so let me see what that is. It must be a new change, because I don't recall ever switch to the Necromancy spellbook. Was that always in the game? I'm not entirely sure if my memory serves correct, but I don't think it was. So now we can access Ensouled Head training method. Now my goal level is actually going to be level 45, so I'm going to need a total of 41 more of these. And money's not an issue at the moment, so let's just go ahead and bump it up. It's only going to cost us 35k, so super cheap. This is basically close to a 1 GP per XP method, which is pretty good for prayer. It'll just take, 15 minutes to use all these heads, but that is no issue. And the reason we're going for 45 is just to access the Eagle Eye prayer and the Mystic Might prayer. No real use out of either of them at the moment, but it'll be nice to have in the future when we do end up needing those 2 prayers for some reason. I guess I'll scrape together all the Wintertodt loot that I got from those 20 chests and sell it and see what we got. Yeah, I only made 68,000. Now I did get coin drops. Runelight is showing a total of 50k coins of 40 crates, so I'm going to assume I got 25k from that batch 25. So about 93k, and that took close to 2 hours to do those 40kc, or those 20kc. So I did actually forget that I need runes to cast the Adept Reanimation spell. So total, this is looking more like a 2 GP per 1 XP method. Still really good for prayer. So now what we do is change our spellbook. We should already have the level 41 magic, so that is no problem for us since we have 55. So all we do is we're in the vicinity of whatever this is, the Dark Altar. We animate the head. It spawns in a reanimated version of a giant, just in general. We kill this, and then we get 650 prayer XP. Very easy method, just takes a lot longer than using bones on an altar or the Chaos Altar, and much more time consuming, but we do save a lot of money, and also we have neither one of those methods unlocked anyways. And there is 43 prayer. We now have all 3 overhead protection prayers. Now we're just going to go for this one, Eagle Eye, and this one, Mystic Might. And that is the last ensouled head for 45 prayer. Alright, so that is one big goal knocked out for the episode, 45 prayer. Very nice to see. Now we're still working on our farming. We're almost to level 30. We should be getting that the next farm run, but I have a bit of time before that. And I can't do my Enlightened Journey quest until I get that. So I also can't unlock Herblore at this time, so I'm just going to go do some fishing at Draenor and maybe get level 15. And by then, my crops should be ready. Alright, let's throw these in the bank. We ended up getting 101. It took about 25 minutes. Not too bad, but definitely not good either. So let's take out our farming stuff. And I think it's about time. So everything looks to be grown. We are currently growing sweet corn, limpworts, and harlanders. And by the way, we did get to 12 fishing, so I guess it was really not that good. Alright, we should get the level here if we get some good RNG, and there it is. There is level 30 farming. Now we can grow our own willow trees, which I don't think the Enlightened Journey quest requires it, even though it says it here, but we got it anyways. Might as well, just in case, because we need farming in the future anyways. But that is another big level knocked out. So here's our farming tab that we made that I don't think I've ever shown yet, but here it is. And this is everything pretty much that we've gotten from 1 to 30 farming, all manually training it with literally 1 herb patch, 2 allotments, a flower, and 2 tree patches. So I think that's about it. So let's price check this. I have no idea exactly how long it took to do all the farming. My best guess would be about an hour to an hour and a half. So 50k. It's not good money now, but we are starting to grow Hairlanders and Limpworts. So between those 2 alone, that's 20k, and that was the last 2 farm runs. Essentially, maybe 3. So farming will be a great moneymaker soon, just not right now. I think once we get to Toad Flax is when the money really starts coming in, which is level 38. Oh, we actually made 55k from selling all the drops, or I guess crops that we grew. But we're now back up to a 1.6, nearly 1.7 mil cash stack. So now, what we have to do is get out of that. Go down here, go to Anana. So we now have everything to start the Enlightened Journey quest, apart from the chunk itself to start the quest, because we need it right there. Now we don't have any more collection log pieces in our back pocket, as this one and this one was used to obtain our ensouled head method prayer training. It's a mouthful. So we're gonna have to go get at least 2 more collection log pieces, because here is the start, and then we are required to fly the hot air balloon to this place in Taverley. Once we fly it, we will be spawning in here to complete the quest. So I want to make sure I have this chunk unlocked before I complete that quest. So as for my next item, I'm going to be going for the cattle pawn piece of the scepter, which I believe is the top. I want to say it's the top of the scepter. Now, last time I tried that, I was using Fire Strike. It was not good at all. So this time I've invested into actually using death spells, blast spells. So currently I have the level to use Earth Blast, so I'm going to use that. Now, something interesting is that I want to get Mystic, but all Mystic is actually on the collection log, and if I invested that, that's over 100k down the drain that I'll have to convert to platinum tokens at a later date. I don't want to do that, but regular blue Mystic is actually not on the collection log. From what I can tell, I have it pulled up on the side here. Right here. And it is only the light, dark, and dusk versions of the of Mystic. So nowhere do I see any sort of other link on the web page. So it's just these. I can confirm that I can buy the blue Mystic set. So let's go ahead and do that. Yep, there we go. So yeah, we invested 157k, but again, we can sell this back at any time. And here's the second installment of Definitely Not a Bot. He is 100% stuck looking at the wall. So again, same game plan as episode 1. We're going to be standing in this tile right here, going ahead and attacking 1. Pulls me out, pull right back out, and then I'll stand right here and I'm safe spotted. And yeah, this is already hitting it so much more. Yeah, this is going to take 10 seconds per kill. And there is the top of the scepter. I got pretty spooned on that as well. Pull this over. I think you can see that. That is 27 KC for that. We now have completed the entire stronghold. All 4 levels, all 4 pieces. Now, in the future, whenever we do want to make our skull scepter itself, we will have to come back and get 4 more pieces, 1 of each. Because in order to make the skull scepter, we would need to take all of these out and combine them, which we're not going to do with these. We're going to get duplicates of each one before we do that. So as for the next chunk that I want to unlock, payment-wise, it's going to be this chunk, as we just mentioned a few minutes ago. But I also need to unlock this chunk to access the Druidic Ritual start. So now I'm going to go for actually 2 additional items to unlock these 2 right here. Now I think it's about time to return to our literal stockpile of chunks. So in the Shazian armor we currently have Shazian boots 2 and the, however you pronounce that, 2. So we can go ahead and get those. That'll complete the first and second set, leaving us with 15 additional collection log items to obtain from that. There is the Shazian boots. And there is the Shazian Greaves. I looked up how to pronounce it. The Shazian Greaves Tier 2 unlocked for items 28 and 29. So now we officially have all the chunk payments, collection log items I should say, to unlock the 3 chunks that we currently need. So let's put these in our tab. Alright, so let's take out all the money we need. So chunk 27 will cost 135k. Chunk 28, 140. And then chunk 29, 145,000 coins, bringing our total to 420. We can actually put them in platinum tokens on a bank chest, which I didn't know until just now. Let's go ahead and do that, bringing us up to a nice 2,600 platinum tokens on the account, leaving us with a 1 mil cash stack. So while on a farm run on mobile, of course it happens, I figured it would eventually, we got a Hespori seed. Nothing too crazy, but that is actually, if we take a look, we stop farming for 1 second. That is actually on the collection log under miscellaneous. And by the way, we are currently up to 35 farming, and while I'm at work, I've been using mobile to do my farm runs, and I did switch to using Ultra Compost. So that is nice to have the Ultra Compost for my herbs, and been using it for the goat himself. So let's go ahead and add this to the tab. There is item number 30 in the tab. Alright, so now before we even start the quest, we need to talk to him over there, but we need to unlock the chunk first. So let's go ahead and unlock it. And there we go. We can now step foot into here. I doubt there's any music tracks, so let's just keep at it. So we are now at the part of the quest where we actually need to fly, and we need to fly to the Taverly chunk. Fly to right there, the hot air balloon. So let's go ahead and unlock that straight away. Nice. Now let's go ahead and fly there. Physical form of travel. Alright, coming in hot. Now that should be quest completed. Almost. Let's talk to homeboy here. And there is quest completed. the Enlightened Journey quest, we now have access to the balloon transport access. That's kind of a weird phrase, but we now have the access to the hot air balloon and 37 farming. And also here is our brand new chunk, which it looks like this guy is using it. So maybe it's not as forgotten as we think, but I think this is the most forgotten method of transportation in all of RuneScape, because it only takes you to, I believe, 4 different locations. This is 1 out of the 4. And it slipped my mind to mention this, but there is the crystal chest, where I guess the chest you unlock with the crystal key. That is also in this chunk. And here is the 3rd and final chunk that we can currently unlock. The, let's call it, Heroes Circle chunk. And there we go. We can now access the Druidic Ritual quest, so let's go do that. So let's talk to Cake Mix here. This should be the quest complete. Telling me how to do Herblore, and there it is. Druidic Ritual quest complete. 4 quest points, it's a lot. Access to the Herblore skill, and some free experience to get us started. Now that gets us to level 3 Herblore. And we did get a couple new music tracks from that, so we're up to 91. And while I'm here, I may as well do the Witch's House quest. So I got the piece of cheese, and this should get us 1 HP level. Got ourselves here a Dunce Random Book of Knowledge. Let's go ahead and put that on Slayer for 11 Slayer. And there is a Witch's House completed as well for an additional 4 quest points. Didn't realize these quests give so many quest points, but also 6.3k hit point experience, bringing us to 48, and 59 combat. So I didn't even mention prior, but we have now completed all of our major goals for this episode, as we got 45 prayer, we got a new method of transportation, as well as we unlocked the Herblore skill. Conveniently all 3 right here, so I can see them. So let's move on to something else. So it's now 2 full days past when I recorded my last clip, and in the meantime, I've been busy IRL, so I've just been logging on, doing some farm runs, doing a bit of forestry while I can. But this is the last farm run we're going to do for now, because we can play actively right now. So let's plant these, and I have a confession to make. While I was doing forestry, I got yet another item, and I utterly failed to capture it with a screenshot. Yeah, needless to say, I tried my best, but I couldn't quite get it. But it's there. It's the fox whistle. That was collection log slot number 31 on the account. So currently, if we go check, and there is the fox whistle in the bank. It is collection log slot number 31 in the tab. I got it, I believe, on my 3rd or maybe 4th fox disarm trap event. Super lucky, as it's a 1 out of 50, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, my bad. But we've been farming a lot. Let's check. Deposit these and this and nice and this. And we end up with a total of 81 toad flags, 54 Harlanders, and 94 limports, and 154 strawberries. So let's go sell all of this and then do some more stuff. And also at the time of recording this, the Wild Gothic Sleeps quest came out yesterday. And yeah, we don't have any single one requirement for this quest, but we'll explore that quest way down the line. But it did add an additional 2 collection log items. Now I believe they are changing the way the quest works, along with the drops you get from the Tormented Demons itself, but you get the Bone Claw. And the Tormented Synapse also came out. Again, I think they're changing those items and the name of them, but they will probably keep with the 2 additional collection log slots. So that is 2 more that we have to obtain, and I think they added, I want to say 8 or 9 music tracks, so that is also another 8 or 9 music tracks we need to obtain. So another thing here, we have 16 pheasant tail feathers, which you need 15 to make an outfit piece, which is a collection log item. And we got these from 2 different events. It's pretty difficult to do this one on mobile, but we ended up getting 2 events, so we got just over 15. So let's make our third now item. So we're gonna make we might as well go ahead and make the pheasant boots. Just because we have this and this, might as well just go down the line. So pheasant boots, that is collection log item number 32. And we now have 3 chunks to unlock. So we got this hard clue from a clue nest that we got while doing forestry, and it's an actual step we can complete. Now, realistically, we have basically a 0.01% chance of actually completing a hard clue currently, but we might as well give it a shot. And yep, that is Deep Wilderness. We are definitely heading there in no time soon. So we have ourselves here a beginner clue that we got from forestry, and it's a Reldo step. So odds are we have a pretty decent chance of completing this, but let's feel this and see what goes on. Very cold. Very cold, same temperatures as last time. I know there's like a teleporting method you use for this. Let's teleport here, feel. Very cold. I thought there was a way you could do this with the clue plugin. Atop Ice Mountain. I don't think we have access to that one, as that is right over here. So that is, looks like it's in this chunk. Farthest possible away, I have to unlock 2 chunks to get to that. So here's what our current log and bird nest stack is looking like. Pretty decent. This is about 125k GP total, but I'm going to hold on to that for now and let it stack a little longer because we're only at 2,000 bark. And our next unlock we can do is at 3,000 bark, which is, I believe, the log brace. And I don't know if I'm going to go for that yet. I may want to go for a more expensive item to unlock those because it'll be more time worthy to do stuff like that now when these chunks are still 1 collection log item per chunk. So let's hold on to it for now and see what's next on the docket. So here we are at the chunk picker. Now I have a few options that I can do, and I want to unlock the lumbered swamp here, and I actually want to unlock the Mage training arena. They've come out with an absolute slew of updates to this somewhat recently, I think back in May of 2024, which will make Mage training arena good again. I guess it was never good, but it's going to make it tolerable now. There's so many changes to go over, so many I haven't even looked at and read. I personally am a fan of the Mage training arena, and it's only going to make it better to have these updates implemented. So I think for now, what we're going to do is use those 3 collection log items that we got to unlock this, this, and this. So these will be chunks 30, 31, and 32. So this one, and this one. So let's pull out the 150, the 155, and then the 160 for a grand total of 465,000 coins to pay for the Mage training arena. But that is completely worth it, as we get 11 collection log items from the Mage training arena. So let's add this to the stack. We're now over 3 mil. And we are at the chunk border, so let's just go ahead and unlock all 3 of these chunks in one fell swoop. And there we have it, all 3 chunks are now unlocked, and I believe they added this gate here pretty recently, which is very convenient for us, as I think prior you had to run up through here and back through here. But let's see how many music tracks we get. 1, 2, 3, and 4 music tracks. Very good, very good. We're now up to 95. There is the telekinetic room done, and I don't think I did end up saying what I'm going for, but we are going for the infinity boots, as that item will take about an hour and a half. So starting out with 55 magic, we're now up to 57 solely from the telekinetic room. So far I'm liking the changes. Up next, the graveyard. Alright, and this will be the last of the graveyard room for now. Let's go move on to the alchemy room. And with this turn in, we should have, there is 60 magic. We also have our 120 alchemy pizzazz points, so we can move on to the final room to unlock ourselves the infinity boots. That's going to be the easiest room of all four, the Enchanter's Room. And here is all the points we need in the enchantment room. Now we have enough to buy the Infinity Boots, so let's go buy those. All the changes that they made to the Mage Training Arena is a direct XP per hour boost, as well as very good quality of life. So there's the Infinity Boots. They're all green, which means we can buy it, confirm 1 pair of Infinity Boots, and there it is. Our first Mage Training Arena item. I think we can wear them. Yeah. The next thing I'm going to be going for with the Mage Training Arena is probably going to be the Bones to Peaches, as it'll help with the Graveyard Room. So while I've been editing, I've been doing some forestry on this side, and we're actually up to nearly 4,000 bark, as well as all these leaves. Very nice. But we're here for another item, and that's actually going to be the Log Brace. Now, it takes 3,000 barks, which we have plenty of, 300 maple and yew, which total these cost about 100k. I know it's kind of steep, but this is a cheap item for bark. I figured might as well buy it, since we already have the Infinity Boots. That's 1 chunk we can unlock, and this one's 2 chunks we can now unlock. So let's buy it. And there is the Log Brace. So now we have this one and this one to unlock ourselves 2 brand new chunks. And let's put those in the tab. So here is all of our loot in total from all that forestry. I have no idea how much it was, but if I had to guess based on the bark I have, about 5 hours. So total we got just under 300k from those about 5 hours of forestry. Now if we could sell both of these, we would have made some decent money, as this one is worth about 258, and this one is worth 339. We would have made 600k, but we cannot sell these as we need them in the bank. Alright, here we are at the chunk picker. Now we're going to go ahead and unlock the Lumbridge Swamp. Most notably, we get this dungeon here, which has 2 collection log items behind it, believe it or not. We will venture down there one day. Access to the Restless Ghost and the Rune Mysteries quest, as well as access to Xanaris, which to complete the Lost City quest, we need to traverse through these 2 chunks to get here, or at least this chunk. So we can complete that quest now. So we got 3 quests to do, actually 4, because I believe that's Mistland Mystery. So we can do 4 quests in these 2 chunks, as well as we get 2 collection log items down here. Again, we'll talk about that maybe next episode, but for now let's go knock those quests out. But first we have to pay for them, so let's get out ourselves 165,000 for chunk 33, and then 170,000 for chunk 34, meaning we're paying 335,000 coins to unlock the Lumbridge Swamp. Put those in the tab, and clean 3,400. And there is both chunks now unlocked. Now let's go ahead and knock out the Rune Mysteries quest, the Restless Ghost quest, and we might as well do Mistland Mystery while we're at it. Here's Rune Mysteries completed, and there is the Restless Ghost quest completed. And there we have it, the Mistland Mystery quest is now completed. All 3 easy quests that we just knocked out took about 20 minutes total. So let's move on to a little bit more of a challenging quest, being the Lost City. Alright, and the very challenging boss fight has been done. So let's go chop ourselves the Draymond Tree. We're gonna get 1, 2, we'll just get like 5 or 6. So we made ourselves the Drum Staff. Let's go ahead and open the door. This should be the quest completed. Yep, 3 quest points and access to Xanaris. Now I think this is an instance. Is this an instance? I'm not honestly really sure exactly what takes you here. So maybe this is considered a cave and dungeon, I guess. I always thought it was an instance. But nonetheless, we're here. We now have access to Xanaris and all it has to offer. I believe all that it offers really is a Slayer Master. We don't need any of this part, the market. A couple quests here. Cosmic Runes, and this bank, and Puro. Not a whole lot here, but this does give us a means to access fairy rings one day, so this is actually a great unlock. And there is 72 woodcutting, Been chilling here for the past little while. We're currently up to 2,352 bark. I'm just saving up just in general for the next item. Not entirely sure what it'll be yet, but I do have something to say, and I actually ended up getting another collection log item, that being the Lederhosen hat. Where is it? Let me just go to random events. I got the Lederhosen hat earlier. I could not record it. I got the random in about 5 minutes logging on, couldn't record. So I do have that, and I cannot find the picture, the screenshot I took of getting it. So I'm going to go to the bank real quick and just show you that I have it. But the only way to get that is to literally get a random, so there's no cheese in that. And that's right here. I make sure to keep it in this tab. So let's go ahead and put it in this tab, and that is item number 35 on the account. So earlier in the episode, I believe the beginning of the episode, we discovered that we can access the Falador area, specifically the mining guild in the, well, I guess party room. Right through here. We can actually walk through here this way and then get into this chunk. So I'm going to consider this an unlockable chunk since I can walk through there. And since I got the Lederhosen hat and I wanted to unlock Falador pretty soon. Hey, nice hat, SuperDuck29. Alright, so here we are at the little area we discovered we can walk into through here, and then right through here we can actually access it right here. So it's very convenient. We just barely get it, so let's unlock it. Alright, so let's take our first official steps into Falador. And I don't think we're going to get any music tracks for over here. We're going to have to take this roundabout way to get in, but that is fine. I don't want to risk stepping out of my chunk, because so far I have not on this entire account, which is pretty rare, I think, for accounts like this. You accidentally step out. But yeah, we have access to, well, some of Falador. Not quite all of it. This chunk unlocks basically the rest of it. So while I was doing some forestry, I ended up getting quite a lot of beginners. These two I cannot do, as they involve chunks I don't have unlocked. This one is a Reldo step, but both of these, I believe, are steps that I can pretty much guarantee complete. This being Charlie, and this one being a step I know I can complete. So I'm going to knock these three out, see if I can do them. I'm going to start with the bow at the Grand Exchange. 1 step beginner, maybe 10th time's the charm. Nope. Let's see if we can do it though. We cannot do that, as it involves that chunk right there. Alright, so I believe this is a step we can complete. Yep, it's right over there. So fingers crossed we get the 45% proc. Somebody must have just did their beginner clue right here. Yes! We finally have a beginner clue casket on the account. I'm going to go ahead and check the last clue that I have. I believe the Charlie step, so if we get lucky we can have 2, but I'm not counting on it. We have 1. And sadly we cannot do this step that Charlie gave us, as it is over here 2 chunks away. So we're going to go ahead and drop that clue as well. But we do have 1. I'll go ahead and pick this up so it doesn't get in the way. Let's stand by Charlie for good luck. Let's see what we get on our first ever beginner clue casket on the account. So I think it's a perfect time to end the episode here. So right now I'll put up on the screen my stats from before and after the episode, as well as the collection log tab and the total number of chunks we have. Or I guess I should say the total number of collection logged items we have, as well as all of the chunks we have. Now, it's getting harder and harder, but I'll keep it up until I can no longer inform you of all the chunks, and I'll do it a different way. But for now, that's how we're going to do it. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one on Logging Chunks.